We've achieved a lot. I think where we found KMC and where it is now is a huge difference. Number one, I always say, is the institutional reform. KMC was well-known political place, political bureau for the then APRC. It was used to propel their politics. Most of the appointees, if not all of them, were part of the party structure of the then APRC. So naturally, governance was not big in KMC. There was no checks and balances, no financial controls. The culture then was not about service delivery. So by far, I think the biggest achievement we have had is institutional reform to restructure, getting the right people in the right places, also change the culture to a service-driven institution. It's not perfect. We have a long way to go. Like you said, there's frustrations along the way. But I think there's a market improvement that is visible to the residents of the municipality. That's why even being an opposition mayor and council, we were able to come back with a large margin. Secondly, our biggest achievement after that is improved waste management. Coming into KMC, there was no waste collection capacity. The council had 2 tractors, second-hand, 1 second-hand truck as well, which was bought as a second-hand truck and almost dead. And now we boast about 32 waste management vehicles, which were all bought brand new. We are right now actually on the cusp of doing a total overhaul of all the vehicles. They've been running now, some for 5 years, some for 1.5 years. So it's time to basically rehabilitate them to maintenance, general maintenance. So we just actually floated a tender, and the vendor won that tender. And basically we're on the cusp of renewing those vehicles so to expand their lifespan. Aside from that, we of course have increased communal dumps. We have structured them by introducing skip bins, and now we are building waste enclosures. So we have now 30 properly structured communal dumps to get rid of illegal street dumping. We have also increased street cleaning. As you can see now, even along the West Coast Highway on Kotu Road, you have street cleaners there. Palmarima Junction, we have on the Kairaba Avenue, Birkama Highway, Bundung Highway now, after there was many complaints. So we are spreading our street cleaning capacity to combat littering. So aside from that, of course, still in waste management, still the biggest problem, we have the Bakote dump site. Now we are going 4 years without major fire. Before, for the past 30 years, it would be on fire every year. Huge fires that would go on for weeks, if not months. It has caused deaths. It has caused many ailments. Also, the dump site was very difficult to live by. The smell, in the rainy season, it would flood. We still have that problem. And of course, it was not secure. We have brought in infrastructure, fenced it off, built concrete roads inside, improved the water infrastructure, firefighting infrastructure. We have 2 recycling sheds. We've just signed a contract to bring a tire recycling company on board. We just also won a UNDP grant to bring recycling machines for plastics. Big improvements at the Bakote dump site, and it's evident in the fact that we are receiving almost no complaints from residents who live around that area. As many have heard, we've also won a grant of 48 million euro from the European Investment Bank, and that would be to close Bakote dump site by 2027. It will also create biodigesters, which is sort of a transfer station recycling facility at Abuko. It would also include a Banjul City Council, which would have a biodigester there. And then in Birkama, there would be an engineered landfill. So KMC applied for the grant. We won it. However, we have to work with stakeholders, and given the amount of money and the fact that some of it is a sovereign loan, we've had to hand the project to the central government, which we have no problems with as far as the benefit comes to everybody, which is our major interest. So major strides in waste management. In terms of market development, we have constructed 4 markets during our time. We are on the cusp of adding 2 major markets. The 4 markets we created were small markets or medium-sized markets. But now we are on the cusp of developing 2 major markets to the size of the Serakunda and Latrakunda market.
Where would these be?
One is called Imbari Padembo. It is in Serakunda.
Whereabouts in Serakunda?
It's in Serakunda. It's almost behind the main market. There's a big plot there, which we've just actually... There were stalls which just demolished.
Would that be the late Mahoney's, the remnant of the late Mahoney's compound?
No.
Or would it be the Janes on the other side?
No, so it's not very far back.
Okay.
It's just behind the main market building.
Okay.
It's hard to describe.
Okay.
But
well, I know that area very well.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it might be the compound of the late Yafatu Paul.
So it's not a compound. It is part of the original market structure. It was used for meat sellers, but the meat sellers transferred.
Okay.
And then there was a kiosk created in and around the area. So we have demolished the area and we are preparing to construct 96 shops there. The other market would be the Tipa Garas. We are planning to expand it on the frontage to create a mall-type market. We are trying to create a sample of a modern market.
Okay.
We've come up with these ideas to combat street vending because we know it's increasingly is problematic. But there's only so far you can blame street vendors. People have to feed their families.
Yeah.
So what we need to focus on is alternatives and solutions. So
occasionally you clear them and they come back the very next minute.
Yeah, so we don't clear highways. The government does that.
Oh, that's the government.
Yes, we try to free up the veins inside the markets because it's an emergency issue. It's a safety issue. It is also an issue of making the markets vibrant. I mean, if the major veins are clogged, then the market has a heart attack.
Yeah, the blood doesn't flow.
Yeah, so basically what happens is vendors, customers are unable to get inside the market. So those who are legitimate vendors in terms of they're paying rent, they're paying their taxes, they're doing everything they're supposed to do, don't get customers.
All right. So institutional reform, waste management,
market development, education.
Mm-hmm.
We've built the first municipal library ever. We've just opened a local language section there. The library is highly utilized. It has internet cafe. Every facility you would need as a person studying or learning is in our library. We also just almost finished building an assembly hall at Charles Jau, which is our school. When I came in, all the assembly was done outdoors. And in the rainy season, they couldn't do assemblies. So it was
You are bringing them to the level of St. Augustine's High School.
Well, yeah, we are very proud of the school, and we think it's one of the best
I'm trying to get back at Lamin Mane.
So we also got, of course, a grant through the Holland Foundation. Where MRC Holland Foundation, where we are building the commerce wing. The commerce wing is completed. It's actually being utilized, but we've decided to launch it same day as we are launching the assembly hall. So we've had a good development in education. Over the course of the years also, we've given tons of scholarship. We don't usually advertise it. We have an education committee. They usually look for underprivileged children. So every year we budget about $1 million or $2 million for the past 8 years, and we give scholarships to students who are
What's your reason for not publicizing it? Because I mean, this was one of your promises.
Yes,
that, you will offer educational opportunities for youth of the municipality.
Absolutely.
So if you are, giving those opportunities and not announcing them, people might sit there and say, well, he said he would do this and he's not doing that.
Well, we're doing it. I think it's just a lapse. But I think the goodwill is what is important. Mm-hmm. First, the politics, of course, is important, so people would be aware. But we've been doing it for the past 7 years. It's actually statutory in our budget. The Education Committee develops a $1 million to $2 million scholarship fund. Same as the youth budget. We help artists. We help poets. We help people who are launching books. So we've spent a lot of money in those aspects. Also, as far as youth are concerned, we've created parks, about 7 of them. One is left to complete it 8. But now we are actually on the cusp of trying to bring back the zones under the supervision of the municipality. We have 5 footballing zones. They are governed by sport committees elected by the football teams. But we see there's a lot of issues in terms of poor infrastructure, trust issues in terms of how they are managed. There doesn't seem to be any reporting line as it was intended. So we are trying to bring them back under the purview and supervision of the municipality. And starting next year, we will subvent them. So we've been having major development in sports. I'm also on the brink of initiating what we call the Mayor's Legacy Program, which will support 70 youth businesses with seed funding to basically build their businesses and employ more youths, part of an ecosystem of sports, arts, and culture. So we'll be launching festivals in adjacent to the youth fund. And of course, lastly, recently, we've done a lot, but these are the major ones. Recently, we have just launched our road network project, which is by far the most ambitious municipal project in the history of this country, where we are planning to build about 15 kilometers of feeder roads, 6 kilometers of drains, and this is 100% funded by taxpayers' money. Of course, you've heard the push and pull with the government. You've heard the noise.
We need you to clarify,
absolutely,
you know, that issue.
So we're pushing ahead. Yeah,
15 kilometers in total, but 10 roads, right?
I believe it's 11 or 12.
11 or 12.
Yeah, so these are roads that connect our communities. These are feeder roads. We identified them in consultation with the NRA. With our projects, what we want is impact. We want equity. We want fairness. We want everybody to sort of feel municipal projects because taxpayers' money comes from all parts of the municipality. So we choose roads that connect communities. So a road should not start in a ward and end in a ward. It should connect to another ward. And it should help bypass congestions, right? So OIC is building some roads in the municipality. NRA is building some roads. So our roads are supposed to complement the network within KMC.
Okay. There are many